growth and prosperity, and we are excited to present this opportunity to you to hear from insiders who will share the incredible economic and brand impact professional baseball will have on our community. So let's get to the reason we're all here today. I know you're only here to see me, so it's time to introduce our special guest. With more than 3 decades of experience in sports business leadership, Mark Bedane was instrumental in the relocation of the NFL's Raiders to Las Vegas and led the team responsible for the successful development of Allegiant Stadium, the gift that keeps on giving. His first day with the A's was March 6, 2025. Bedane joins the Athletics from his role as president of Oakview Group, Las Vegas, Arena and Entertainment. His extensive experience in overseeing large-scale projects and steering complex organizational operations will be critical as the Athletics transition to Las Vegas. No pressure, Mark. Mr. Bedane's career began with the Raiders in 1981 as a training camp intern. Over the years, he advanced through the ranks, eventually becoming the team's chief financial officer in 2004 and later as president. A native of Rochester, my home guy, give it up for Rochester. But any other Rochesterians in here? I doubt it. Bedane holds a bachelor degree in economics from Emory University and an MBA from my alma mater, UC Berkeley High School of Business. Any Berkeley folks in here? All right, he is deeply committed to community engagement and serves on the boards of several organizations, including, near and dear to my heart, Opportunity Village, Grant a Gift Autism Foundation, and more. Please welcome Athletics President Mark Bedane. All right, let's get this show on.
I do have to make one correction.
Yes.
I started in 91, not 81. I'm bald, I'm not old. Always start with a bald joke, Paul. Never fails.
Thank you for correcting me.
You're welcome.
All right, so congratulations on your new role as president of the Athletics. Tell us a little bit about what drew you to this role.
Well, where do you want to start? Well, first of all, they gave me a bunch of notes, and I think anyone that knows me knows that I'm going to go off script anyway, so we're just going to throw those away. If you're lucky enough to be a part of the sports industry, there's usually 2 paths you can go down. One is you can go down the team side, coach, scout, something in ops. And if you go on the business side, there's obviously a bunch of different paths you can follow as well. To me, doing a stadium project is really the pinnacle of being in this industry. You get to learn so much. It's a very high pressure environment. You're doing something that's transformative, not just for your organization, but for the city, whether it's the city you're in or the city that you're relocating to. And you also get to see some incredible professional growth. So one of the things I enjoyed the most from the Allegiant Stadium project was seeing a lot of kids, I'm going to call them kids that I worked with for decades. We grew up together, and to see them take on additional responsibilities and achieve such incredible success here and grow their professional career. Some of them are in the room here today. They'll be humble, but they know they are. And now I get a chance to do that again. So I was going to ask for everybody with the A's organization that's here to stand up for a second and be acknowledged, please. Thank you, Charlie. You're going to see a lot more of these folks, and I'm really excited. I've been on the job now, you said about 8 weeks, and really been impressed with what I got to inherit, and the team of people that I'm going to be working with for the next few years putting this project together. John Fisher and the owner and Sandy Dean, the vice chair, they reached out to me right around the first of the year. And I had spent some time with them over the years. I think Donnie Logan's in the room. Where's Donnie? Donnie's a big reason we're sitting here, so thank you, Donnie. And next thing is former Tri-County Commissioner Mike Brown, who also had a big role in this actually happening, so the two of you should take a bow. Thank you for autographs to make this happen. So I spent some time, Maya Donnie, with John and with Sandy for the last couple of years. They obviously wanted to know our experience here and what worked and what didn't work. So when they reached out in early January, I think it was a dating period. They wanted to get to know me a little bit. I obviously wanted to see where the project stood. I knew what I read, but we wanted to dive in a little bit more. So there was a good due diligence period, and we were very direct and honest with one another. And I even said, you should probably go see what opportunities are out. I'm not going anywhere. If you want to come back and have these conversations, I'll still be here. So we spent a couple of months getting to know each other, and just over time, it just made too much sense. Obviously, the experience I can bring with what we did with Allegiant, the team of people that built Allegiant, and Talon is the same team. And we in HMTV were the architect of record for Allegiant. The Morrison McCarthy JV built it. So it's sort of like getting the band back together. And it became too obvious. And then as I got to know John and Sandy and some of the members of the organization, it was a pretty easy yes. To be a part of a project like that is pretty special. To get to do it twice, I don't know too many people who get a chance to do it. And to do it in a city and a community that I feel strongly about. There's a lot of familiar faces in this room, a lot of people that I've known for 9 years, but it feels like a lot longer. You heard Paul mention our relationship that started, I think, in the Sands conference room in early 2016. It means a lot, and I'm excited for it. I'm really impressed with all the work that's been done to date, and I hope to be able to lead this group and do great things with them.
Go on? Yeah. All right, moving a professional sports team to a new city is no small feat. Oh, okay. All right, moving a professional sports team to a new city is no small feat, as you well know. So how do you approach the complexities of relocating a team and building a new ballpark?
Let's do the second question first. So for building a ballpark, at the Raiders, we spent about 10 years trying to figure out how to do it. Had some successes, had some failures, ultimately had to leave the Bay Area. But that process, and then in 2015, we had an opportunity to learn most of the stadium process. We called it taking a master class. We worked with the Chargers on a project in Los Angeles. So we had a chance to learn everything there is to know about building a stadium. We crammed it all in 1 year. So we learned municipal finance, we learned construction, architecture, project management, sales, marketing, politics, NFL politics, which is probably the worst one. So we ended up losing to the Rams, who built SoFi Park, blessing in disguise. And by the time we came back, Vegas really came out of nowhere, and we were ready. We had taken the class, so now it's time to take the test. So we learned so much during that process. The A's and the Raiders have the same benefit, the same curse, in that we're both going last. And what do I mean by that? We got to see every other stadium get built. We got to see every other team go through it. We build those relationships, and the folks at the A's have relationships at MLB and with other teams, and we're able to mine those relationships. And some of the results of those conversations and the results of that study are in the beautiful renderings that you saw that I know we'll talk about. In terms of relocating, look, it's tough. It's tough on any business that has to relocate, not just for the community that's losing the entity in the business, but it's tough on employees. They have families, they have connections there. So you have to be very, very sensitive to that process. I don't think you can have just sort of one set of rules and say everybody's going to follow this strict set. You have to be sensitive to everybody's individual situations. And then you also want to be good to that community. So everybody that you do relocate here, and everybody that comes here, you need to treat this place incredibly well, because they've been very welcoming. I've seen how welcoming this community is. And so everyone from the A's organization knows that, and knows that when they come here, they're a representative of that brand. And this city and that brand are going to do great things together. So we'll get through we'll call it the emotional issues associated with it, but it's going to turn into some great things.
Here we go. Did you end up moving the lion's share of employees, majority employees here to?
Yeah, most of the employees did come. We did it in some phases. There were some that came very early on, and then there were some that manned the operation back in the Bay Area. The same thing's occurring with the A's. We're playing our games in Sacramento. So there's an entire entity running that operation, and then there's an entity that's going to be here, and then there's going to be some hybrid people that are doing both. It'll be challenging. Thankfully, it's a short flight. You're going to get a lot of Southwest points. You'll see them, they'll be the ones at A1. But I think that people that I've talked to, I've had a chance to speak to most of the members of the public staff. Everyone's really excited. Their trips here have been incredibly positive. They've been through a lot. It was a rough couple of years last year. I can sympathize with it. We did the exact same thing. So we're going to make it great for them here.
Well, I will say that Las Vegas is one of the most welcoming communities. I'm looking at the A's table over there. I moved here from Baltimore, not from Baltimore, but I moved from Baltimore 3.5 years ago, and let me tell you, because we all have perceptions of what we think Las Vegas is, a welcoming and very giving town. So I'm sure we will welcome all of you with open arms as well. So Emily just shared the incredible design of the ballpark with us. So can you tell us more about the vision behind it?
I'm walking into the vision. It's one of the things that got me excited about it. I can't do as good a job as the architects describing it. I'll just tell you what I found to be impressive. One, you need to build something special in this town. You're just not going to come here and build a boilerplate park. It's got to be something visually impressive, and it's got to be something that lives up to the reputation in this town and what this town has made. It's built on, which is hospitality and service and experience. So I started looking at it from the perspective of a fan and a patron, as well as from the perspective of somebody that's going to be working in the building. So just for an example, in the most recent iterations of ballparks, stadiums, and arenas, the event level has taken on extreme importance. And by the event level, I mean the ground floor. Because usually that was just used for operations, but now it's become an area where there's a lot of premium spaces and a lot of hospitality spaces. So you have to combine the needs of the employees and the people who are running the building with the needs of the patrons who are going to be in those spaces. And when they leave the floor for an event that's on the floor, there needs to be restrooms, there needs to be food services, there needs to be clubs. The number of premium spaces in this building that are going to be available to patrons, I don't think that there's a building in the country that has so many. There's probably 30 really interesting, exciting, just cool spaces to sit, watch the game, watch it in person, watch it on TV, sit with your friends. I don't know, I was talking to Cisco, and they showed you a rendering from the outfield. So you have this, I'm going to script the terms, I'm sorry. You have the stacked dugout, but around that dugout is almost like a walkway. So you could be standing right here watching the game right there, and the bullpen's right behind you. There's nothing like that in baseball, and that's Vegas, right? You need to provide an experience that's different, that people are going to come here, your locals and your tourists, and they're going to say, that ballpark is awesome, right? And when you go to Aviators Ballpark, that's got to be the best minor league ballpark in the league. I've been to plenty. So it's that kind of experience. You go there, and Vegas knows what they're doing. Vegas knows how to do it right. If you look at a lot of the club areas, if you look at even just the outfield areas where anyone can just go and sit and watch the game, and then behind you, you'll have this billion-dollar view of Las Vegas Boulevard and some of the iconic areas. And then you've got the location. We're on one of the best intersections in the entire world. I saw, where's Slick Mick? Where's Mick? You can stand up. Everybody should click on Mick Akers' story today because the Tropicana project is done and is going to open up on Thursday. So I don't know why I'm giving you credit because you don't deserve it. But That's going to be great for the city, and it's going to be great for our location. It's going to be great for that corner, Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana, where we're putting this iconic building.
So to follow up on that, because I say Allegiant has to be by far the most incredible stadium in not only the country, I'd say in the world. You can applaud for that. And looking at the renderings that Emily shared, this is probably going to be one of the most iconic ballparks. So do you foresee, because I know people travel here from all over the country, all over the world to see a game or concert at Allegiant. Do you see the same thing? Like, you know, Yankees fans traveling here because they want to experience the game at this Las Vegas stadium? What's your thinking?
Absolutely. That was built into the thought, that was built into the vision that you asked about. Obviously, you want to create a massive local fan base, and we'll be able to do that. But let's be real. This is a project that's meant to, you heard Mary Beth talk about, diversify the economy, bring some more tourists here. Vegas, very early on in my time here, people would say Vegas evolves. And the sports evolution has been the most recent one, but Vegas always evolves. And this ballpark is that next step in that evolution. It's another incredible, iconic piece of infrastructure that we're going to be proud of, that adds to one of the most dynamic and beautiful skylines in the world. Just in the 9 years that I've been coming here, you've got Legion Stadium, you have the Sphere, you have this ballpark coming right. You almost get desensitized to it living here. The amount of change, the pace of change, the pace of development and growth. It's an incredible business community, obviously, and they work together with the right folks in government to spur growth, to spur development. So this project was done with a lot of those things in mind. It's about bringing a whole new level of tourism and visitation here. But there's also going to be a very strong emphasis on building the local fan base. I didn't know how many people were baseball fans. Just in the 8 weeks that I've been running around town, everybody's been telling me how much they love baseball, how much excited they are to be able to come to a game. It's obviously a very different experience than a football game, and as I've been reminded by that table over there, there's 162 of them. We played game 18, and we were on a leadership call, and the general manager said to me, "Hey Mark, we've now played more games than an entire NFL season, and we have 144 to go." I don't know if he was born in May or getting excited about that 144 more.
Well, as a former Bay Area girl, glad to see some other teams. We've got the Raiders here, and I'm glad to see that athletics coming to Las Vegas. So tell us a little bit about this Jersey Patch partnership with LVCVA, and why this partnership is important to the Yankees.
Well, it's not just about branding, it's really about the word used, which is partnership. The LVCVA's been, if not one of the biggest reasons that sports has exploded in this town. Their support of all the sports teams, of all the sports events, of all the sports facilities is a big reason why this city has seen it go from the entertainment capital of the world to the sports and entertainment capital. Steve and Ed and Rob Dondero and Lisa and I'm sure Brian, I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of people, but their presence and their actions and how they've supported the teams and how they've supported the events, right? You have, I forgot to mention F1 is one of the things that came in the last few years. Sorry. She's sitting right next to me too, Jesus. I didn't hear about that one. But that just doesn't exist. I don't think people realize that kind of support. Yeah, you get support in some municipalities and get some support from the business community, but this market in this community is very, very different. And when you talk to people from other teams, both in football and baseball, and you share some of the stories of what this city and community does, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, how is that even possible? So the patch is, I think, emblematic of the partnership with LVCVA and the support from LVCVA, but about this market and its excitement for the team and the team's excitement to represent it and wear it on their uniform. It's a really neat thing to see.
Looking forward to seeing that on the field here in Vegas. So, as someone with extensive experience in sports industry, how have you seen the role of sports evolve in terms of its economic and community impact?
Well, it starts with jobs. the jobs during construction, the jobs during operations, the diversification that you've heard mentioned a couple times already today. The teams, so beyond just the economic impact, which you could probably, Jeremy was supposed to be here, we could have called Jeremy up and he could have given us a whole economic lesson on how much money it brings to the economy. Beyond just the financial, you talk about the non-quantifiable, what it means to see your city's name anywhere that there's a sports event. What do I mean by that? Well, we're going to be on TV 162 times. And every time you turn on TV, you see LV, right? That means something. I can't put a dollar figure. I probably could put a dollar figure on it. You could hire a media company and they could tell us how much it's worth. It's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And the exposure that brings to a city every time they do a bump in and out on a commercial and they show the Vegas Strip, right? That's worth something. That's valuable. And you all know it. You've all been in Vegas a long time. It's a source of pride. How many people were at the Knights game last night? Right? That was a great game, right? People were talking about it. And so that kind of community engagement, that type of community support, it helps grow what the community stands for, what it means when people come to town. It's what you're known for more than one other thing. And just adds a lot to what it means to live here and be a Las Vegas and be a part of that community. From a financial standpoint, you've seen a great job done by the Stadium Authority Board in how they've managed this process, protected the interests from the public investment side. I think the two deals that have been done, to me, will stand up against any public investment that's been done in any ballpark or stadium around the country, around the world, in terms of its return on that investment. That's just what this market is capable of.
Gift that keeps on
Gift
giving.
that keeps on giving.
So tell us about how do you see the role of the business community in supporting this project? What can we as a chamber, also the business community, we have a lot of leaders in this room, how can we support you?
Well, it starts with communication and you telling us what we can do for you. So I would turn it around that way. In terms of what they can do, obviously look at the team as an asset. We'll obviously hope to see you at the ballpark and see you support and hold group events and hold private events there. But the ballpark's a community asset as well, and you should use it as such. We've already had incredible, obviously I have 9 years worth of relationships with a lot of people in this room and out in the community, but the team has been able to engage with local television stations, with restaurants, with construction firms, with suppliers of anything you think you need as you're building a new business in a new market. So we just need to know you're here. We just need to know that you're a part of this. The community benefits agreement will encourage a lot of small business participation. We crush those expectations at Elysian. We'll crush them again at this ballpark. But that's a process that's very well managed, very well maintained. We have our first meeting of the Community Benefit Oversight Committee tomorrow. I've had a number of conversations with Dr. Pollard, who's leading it, about what she wants to see accomplished, and not just what's written in the bill and not what's just mandated, but about doing more than that. So we get to do it a little better the second time around.
How do you see yourself ingraining, or the A's team, ingraining themselves in the community? So I mentioned Las Vegas, a very giving community. Every time you turn around, y'all having a fundraiser around here. Never seen anything like it, but I love it. How do you see yourselves?
It's interesting to say that. We're obviously both relatively new, but this community is one of the more philanthropic I've ever seen. And when they get behind something, it's really incredible. The A's have been very active in the community. They're not touting it. They're not trying to pat themselves on the back. But they've been very engaged in the community for the last 2 years. They've supported every Little League baseball and softball team, not just in Vegas, but in the state, and will continue that. But any cause that's been brought to the attention, I've just heard them say yes. Mr. Fisher, John, is a very philanthropic guy. He's similar to Mark in that I don't think he's purely motivated by money. He's motivated by doing the right thing. He's motivated by building just an iconic building. He's going to really love the building process and bringing that vision to life. But the team will be very engaged and very active. And people have heard me say this, it's not always about money. There will be a lot of money. There will be a lot of philanthropic giving. You'll also get players who will start their own foundations, and people tend to forget that you have an entire roster of people who who are going to be very charitable and very giving in their community as well. But it's about being present. It's about being at events like this and being at every single event and touching everybody and hearing what's needed and then listening and addressing. And it doesn't always have to be a big check. It can be awareness. It can be bringing awareness to something that maybe fell through the cracks and just wasn't getting the attention, and the association with a sports team can sometimes raise that awareness and help things.
A couple of funny questions.
Okay.
So, what is your favorite sporting event? And don't say baseball, just was usually NBA.
I would say my favorite sporting event that I've attended is probably Wimbledon. We got a chance to go to that last year. We were invited by some friends, and it was a very different experience. The level of attention to detail, how the behavior, how you were greeted by the staff. It was an elevated experience that I've never seen at a sporting event in the States. They're just so damn polite. You show them your tickets, and they say, Janet, I can't do a British accent. Janet, let me escort you to your gate. And they just leave their post and walk you to go get a credential. And they say, well, the ground is wet, let's get you a buggy. And then they call a cart over. And we didn't have like really fancy, don't get me wrong, we weren't in like big boy seats or anything. We used our regular seats and they put you in a cart and take you to get your credential. And then I don't know, the whole experience blew me away, getting on the tube and going there. If you have a chance to do something like that, that was a pretty special day. We went on, I don't know, like a Monday or Tuesday. It wasn't maybe the quarterfinals, so it wasn't the circus, but it was a really fun event. They do it right.
Sounds like an experience.
It was.
All right, so tell me, what position would you play if you could play baseball? What position?
If I could play baseball.
I'm assuming you can.
In my old man softball leagues, I played left center.
Oh,
I could
okay.
still run, and I was too chicken to play in the field, and then the balls come at me, so I play left.
All right,
How about you? What would you play?
Stand corrected.
What'd you play?
Let me see, who's the one furthest down the field? The balls really don't come in my direction. I'd be way outfield where I could just have a seat until it further started coming my way. All right, so now we have time for a couple of audience questions. Any questions from the audience? Now, y'all all came here today, so don't be shy. Oh.
Yeah, I don't have a question. I just have a statement. Because I'm a Bay Area boy, grew up an A's fan. I'm really excited to be an athletics fan again. I started with Charlie O, Reggie Jackson, Catfish Hunter, all the way up to Billy Ball and Billy Artemis, up to the, McGuire and Jose Canseco. And then the Giants built that stadium. And all the fans seem to go there, so I'm so excited to be an athletics fan again, and just the whole fan experience. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Jose, are you saying you got another? Yeah, there is. I was getting to that. All right, we're running long. So I do hear you have a special announcement for us today. So take it away.
Thank you, Jen. We did want to announce today, the A's will be opening an experience center at the Uncommons in the Southwest. So we've got a partnership with a couple of firms, Adam and Burke. Some reps are here today if you run into them and want to ask some questions. We're not releasing renderings today, but the experience center will be just an amazing touch point for fans to get a little deeper into that ballpark, see the interiors, the technology that's available for these experiential type of environments is incredible. So you'll be able to go in there and essentially walk through the stadium and what the stadium is going to be like. There's going to be some great fan engagement experiences as well in the ballpark, make you understand what it means to be an A's fan, to understand a little bit more about the history. You heard that gentleman talk about, but you'll see that come to life in this experience center. So we'll be open in the fourth quarter in the fall. Thank you. I haven't said anything you want to throw a glass at me for yet. I am done, okay? We'll be open in the fall. out of the uncommon. We're very excited about this. It's going to be a great way for this community to understand a little bit more about the brand, about the games, and obviously about the ballpark.
Awesome, that sounds awesome. I'll have to get myself down there in the fall. Mary Beth.
Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate you being here today as I make my way back up to the stage. I know also we have a surprise for our attendees today in that they can secure a priority access season ticket pass, right, for $19.01. You can scan the codes on the cards on your table, $19.01. It's a really simple step that puts you in line before the general public. So everybody, be sure you know, you heard it here at the Vegas Chamber first. So scan the code at your table or visit athletics.com/Vegas to reserve your spot today. Very exciting. All right. Madam Chair, I know that we also have giveaways for our costumes today, I guess, for lack of a better word. This is the fun part of our prize, if you haven't had enough fun already, right, Jose? All right, oh my goodness, look at this basket, Miss Jasmine. You want to bring it up? Okay, for our best dress today, we actually have 2 winners, Madam Chair. We were just going to do 1. But today we're doing 2 winners. Jasmine, would you like to make your way up here, Miss Vanna Jasmine? Vanna White, Jasmine. Our winners